Hi, everyone, and Happy New Year. Hope the new year is underway for you and you're already enjoying. I have some interesting statistics to discuss, which is from the Department of Home Affairs. So let me share that. So this is the Humanitarian Program statistics. Yeah. So if you go to, for instance, 2024. Wonder if you can see that now. Hopefully you can. Yeah, beautiful, you can. There's some interesting statistics now. Look, total of number of protection visas lodged in the period. So for November 2024, subclass 866, 1,969 lodged. And let's look at the leaders. India, China, excluding Hong Kong, Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, Pakistan, and Colombia. That's very interesting. India, China, Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, Pakistan, and Colombia. Now let's look at the leaders of these visas that were in fact granted. Is India somewhere around them? Among them? Okay, where is India? India, fewer than 5 protection visas were granted. So the success rate for India is 0.70. The leader in lodgements with the possible lowest success rate. Okay. China, 190 lodged. Let's look at the grants. China, 15 granted, which is 5.28%, slightly more than 5% grants. Philippines, 119 granted. Let's look, Philippines, 100, I'm sorry for that. 119 lodged, but let's look at the grants. Philippines, less than 5.0037%. Vietnam, 117 lodged. Let's look at the grants. Less than 5, which is 0.57%, which is nothing. Okay. And so that was Vietnam. Indonesia win 108 lodgements. And let's look at the grants for Indonesia. Is it any good? Indonesia, less than 5, so 1.74% grant. Also slightly higher, but also incredibly low. Pakistan, 84 lodgements. Pakistan with 84 lodgements. But let's look at the success rate. Where's Pakistan? Is Pakistan anywhere here? Pakistan, 22 grants, which is very high. 44.9% grants, very, very, very high. Pakistan. And I will finalize with Colombia. 75 visas lodged. Where's Colombia in terms of grants? Less than 5. 3.33%. So very low. Not as low as India or China, but still incredibly low. So let's look at this picture. Only out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 countries, which are leaders, absolute leaders in terms of lodgements. In fact, India and China, the biggest ones, get 0.0 whatever, far less than 1% of grants, far fewer than 1% of visas are granted. Philippines, Vietnam, similar trend, very much similar trend. Only Pakistan breaks this trend. Colombia is also pretty low, 3%, yeah, more than India and China, but it's also a negligible number of visas, less than 3%, negligible. But Pakistan is at a 44% grant rate, which is very high. So basically, out of these 7 countries that are the top lodgers, only one country, which is Pakistan, gets the grants properly. Others don't. Others are lodgers but do not get the visas. Why do you think is that? Would you link it with the fact that potentially these countries and potentially Colombia, I'm not sure about Indonesia, possibly yes as well, but I'm pretty sure these countries and Colombia are the top holders of student visas, very likely, that have exhausted all their means, all the visa subclasses they could have possibly lodged, to then go on and lodge a protection visa, potentially. Can this be the reason? I will leave this question open, but I had a lot of people approach me and ask me to lodge a protection visa, and I would never do it if I didn't find any genuine claims from the person. So this table pretty much reflects that Home Affairs thinks that potentially the applicants have no fear to return back home. The circumstances in those countries of origin are not such that the applicant would fear persecution for a conventional reason, for the reason of race or ethnicity or sexual orientation or political opinion or whatever. So that's very important. If you guys are in those top lodges, except Pakistan, obviously, you lodge, think why you do it, because Home Affairs will expedite the processing of these 866s to refuse them potentially as soon as possible. And then it will go, if you appeal, if you don't leave, if you appeal to the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, will be there for a while, of course, but then the Administrative Appeals Tribunal is looking to hire more tribunal members to potentially expedite and address this problem, to also increase the pace at which tribunal normally reviews these applications. So I don't know how long it will take, but if you're from one of these countries, potentially you will end up with the same outcome in the tribunal too. So that's a big thing. If you lodge this visa, think well. If a client comes to me, no genuine comes to me, and I assess the protection claims and I find that there are none, I say, sorry, mate, but we're not going to lodge this. I'm not going to lodge this. You can do whatever you want. I'm not going to lodge it. But even if you do it yourself, what's the rationale behind it? So think about it. What's the rationale behind it? Do you want to succeed? Have you explored other visa options? Have you read about an 866? Do you know the success rate? Do you know, or do you want to buy some time? If you want to buy some time, why do you need this time? What's better going to come up in this time that you will jump from the 866 to? What are your plans? Maybe you're going to do a partner visa and need some time. Maybe you hope to get employer sponsorship. I mean, have you thought about what you're doing well enough? Because if you rely on an 866 application in its own right, if you're among these top lodging countries, then you need to see the statistics and you need to be guided the statistics. If you rely on 866 as an outcome, as a positive outcome, I don't think you should be relying on it. I don't think this is the right strategy. And of course, if you want to talk about the right strategy, you can book a paid appointment with me, and you and me will discuss. Because maybe there are other better options available than doing this and eventually having it refused, having eventually to leave. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a lot of options in this new year, and hopefully good options. And if you need immigration advice, of course, please reach out. See ya.